So I'm just going to talk about my experience with Archeage Unchained so far. As an original alpha player 5-6 years ago, however long it was. Not sure how long this video is going to be, but hopefully it's not going to be too long. But as long as it's long enough to be able to voice my opinions, that's what really matters. As an old alpha player, watching the Archeage Unchained launch has been incredibly sad. And it's demoralizing almost. For me, Archeage used to be one of the best games, if not the best game, on the market. It was so good. What happened to it? Gamigo is trying to fix the game with the relaunch of Archeage Unchained, and they are doing good things. They are doing some things right, such as getting rid of pay to win. That was a very good decision by their part, and so far they've delivered on that. However, they didn't address other problems with the game, especially after removing the pay-to-win issue. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, in Archeage Unchained, the trading has been gutted, the fishing has been gutted, the game is insanely grindy, the crime point system is way too strict, and you go to jail after even just one same faction PK. The Arc Pass is incredibly grindy, and just filled with endless dailies that you're pretty much forced to do. So let's just break this down a little bit. In terms of trading, Archeage used to be about overseas trading, international trading between continent to continent. But that's gone now. That doesn't exist. They've ripped that from the game and instead put it in their cargo system. There's really no more international trading that people do, and there's not much risk versus reward anymore. You're not going out with an entire guild with a merchant ship filled with packs that have hundreds of gold of mats on them, only to defend it and be able to turn it in for a gilded or more gold. But that's gone. It's replaced by the cargo system. And you don't even have to have a boat to go to the other continent. You can just jump on the cargo ship, and you can buy a pass that will protect you on the cargo ship, so you don't even have to worry about dying. You don't have to worry about risk versus reward. There is no risk, there's only reward. Free deck is basically non-existent now. I don't even know why it's even in the game anymore. There's no incentive to go there anymore. That used to be one of the biggest hotspots for PvP on the entire game, and it was a really big contention of power for that spot. Now let's move on to the crime point system here for a few minutes. Archeage's crime point system has obviously gone through a fairly big change. It used to be that you wouldn't go to jail for just one PK. You would have to have multiple player kills to even be wanted to be able to go to jail. But now that's different. And because of this difference, it's changed the mindset that people have towards being pro-faction, anti-faction, and PKing. It's turned into now that everyone that's of your faction is pretty much your ally no matter what. That's not how the game used to be. There used to be guilds that were kill on sight. If you saw their guild tag, you killed them. If you're in a PvP zone, you would straight up kill them. Doesn't matter if they're doing something. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who it is. If they have that tag, you kill them. Having the crime point system be so strict as it is gets rid of that. Everyone is too scared and doesn't want to waste the time in jail for one kill. It gets rid of the same faction politics system. There isn't really any enemies anymore on your same faction. Sure, you can say, oh yeah, we don't like these guys, but other than that, there's not really much you can do. Want to steal their stuff? Can't, unless you want to spend 5 hours in jail. Everyone is your ally. They also changed how you get gear. So in Archeage Unchained, you get a set of gear at the very beginning of the game, and you just continue to level that until you're max level, and beyond max level, to higher and higher tiers. This gets rid of a very big part of leveling. When you're given the armor that you're going to be using for the majority of the game, there's like no reward in having that gear. You're not special for having that gear anymore. You're not farming dungeons trying to get a rare drop. You're not trying to craft high level gear until way later into the end game, almost like years in the future. And at that point, it's almost not even worth it because you're getting a very minor buff to your stats. And it kills gear progression. There is no gear progression. Everyone has to follow the same path. There is no divergent path of gear that you can really realistically take and still be competitive with the top players. It just doesn't happen. PvE is still in the game, but now the only real incentive to kill the Kraken is just bragging rights, pretty much. To be able to say that your guild killed the Kraken, and maybe to be able to get rare items like the glider, but that's it. That's pretty much it. There's not much else to it. Overall, it just seems like the sandbox element of Archeage, which was the attraction for many, many players that originally started playing it, that's almost gone. You still have sandbox elements, but you're restricted a lot, especially now with the system where you get gear just by leveling. Trading is gone. Fishing is gone. Same faction PvP is gone. The game has turned into a daily quest simulator. The game revolves around dailies. Do you want to upgrade your gear to be able to be competitive with higher players? You gotta farm those Ramen fusions. Gotta grind those dailies every single day, unless you just want to fall behind and not be able to keep up. And the problem with dailies is that once you fall behind, you are forever behind. There is no catch-up mechanic because everyone has to do the dailies. This is the same as Arc Pass also. Right now, the Arc Pass is just dailies. Now, they are changing it today/right now to be more weekly quests instead of daily, but the point and the issue still stands. It's just daily/weekly quests that people are pretty much required to do if they want to be able to progress in the game. And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely despise dailies in games. I hate it. It takes the fun out of MMOs. It makes it feel like office work. It makes it feel like work. It doesn't feel like a game anymore where you're just having fun. You're assigned a task that you have to do every single day. It's monotonous. It's not original. It's not creative. It's not sandboxy. The sandbox element has been gutted. Instead, what they should be doing is they should be making the Arc Pass level up passively. Every time you do something in the game, it should attribute experience to your Arc Pass. It should be equivalent to how much time you put into the game. How many mobs did you kill? How many players did you kill? How much stuff did you craft? How many plants did you harvest? How much XP have you gotten overall while playing the game? The soul's been ripped out of the game and turned into a mindless grind fest. They took the pay-to-win out, which was a very good thing. I'm not denying Gamigo so far has done a good job at removing pay-to-win, but they didn't balance other things around removing pay-to-win. And the biggest issue about this is probably the labor system. The original Archeage was balanced around the labor system to be pay-to-win. You are encouraged to spend real money to buy labor potions, to be able to do more stuff in the game, and to be able to progress. But since that's not it anymore, you can't buy labor potions. The only way you can buy labor potions is with diligence, which of course is gated behind daily quests, behind the Arc Pass. It all comes back to dailies, doesn't it? They failed to balance these things, and it is badly hurting the game. And it hurts. As someone who deep down really loves Archeage, I still love the game. I love what it stands for, but it's just a shell of what it used to be. It's soulless, and it's painful to watch. It's painful to watch, and it's painful to play. I want this game to do well. I put hours into the alpha. I loved every single minute. It was probably the most fun I've ever had in a video game. What happened to that? Bring it back. We need that. Bring back the sandbox. Make Arc Pass level passively. Now, another grievous mistake of the game comes from the fact that they even allowed multiple accounts per person. I understand why they did it. In the legacy version of Archeage, it's highly encouraged for you to have multiple accounts because you can generate more labor and be able to gather more resources faster and more efficiently so you can get through the game. And they wanted to keep this because they didn't want to piss off the players who still played Legacy and was used to this. It was normal. It was normal to have multiple accounts, to play on different accounts and just log in and out of them every single day, and just burn the labor and basically log out, transfer the items to another player, and log out. What do alts do? They allow you to basically be a one-man guild. You don't need other people now. You don't need other people to supply you with the mats now. You can do it yourself, and since you know what you want, it can be more efficient. So what does this all boil down to? Archeage is still a great game, but it has its problems, especially with Unchained. Gamigo is clearly putting in effort, but right now it's just simply not enough. They need to do more. They have to be hands-on. And part of the problem with this is because they're only the publisher. They're not the developer of the game. That's XL Games. They're only the publisher for North America and Europe. So if they want things to change, it's going to be a completely different pipeline for them to be able to get things changed. They have to go through XL. They have to go through Korea because they are the owners. They decide ultimately what happens to the game. The game's already been out for only a week, and I'm almost already burned out to the point where I don't even want to play the game anymore because I feel like all there's really to do is to just do dailies and grind. A lot of the grindy tendency of the game now is probably attributed to the fact that it's a Korean MMO. Korean MMOs at its core have been known to be very grindy, and since Archeage has been out for 5-6 years now, they need more content to do. So what's the best way to give them content? It's to add more grind. Your max level? Oh, we can change that. We can make it harder for you to level. We can make it grindier for you to level by adding ancestral levels. So now even when you're max at 55, you're still not max. You have to grind mindlessly for days, for weeks, for months, potentially years to get max level. So what's the fix to all this? The fix is fairly complicated. The fix can't come from Gamigo, I think. It has to be from XL. If XL truly wants Archeage Unchained to be successful, which I hope they do because, this is their income, this is their game, it's their profit. They need to change the game. Bring back that sandbox element. Bring back the adventure. Bring back the systems that you gutted. Reduce dailies. Don't make the game revolve around dailies. Bring back the trading system. Make economics viable again. Bring back fishing. Bring back the core soul of Archeage. Gamigo is trying their best, but it's not enough. At the rate that it's going now, if they don't seriously change things, this is going to be dead in a couple of months. Once the honeymoon phase wears off and people realize that all this game is just a daily quest grind fest, they're not going to want to play anymore because it's literally just a mindless grind to try and get ahead of people that are doing the exact same thing as you, and if you miss a day, you're forever behind. Maybe I'm looking at the alpha through rose-tinted glasses. Maybe I'm looking at it wrongly. Maybe just nostalgia that's driving me to think that the alpha was so good that I remember it being one of the best games in the world. If anyone thinks I'm just being nostalgic, please tell me. What do I have wrong? What am I missing here? I honestly want to know if it's just nostalgia or if the game really has changed. And it has. The game has changed undeniably, but to what point? At what point does the game change so much that it stops being the game it used to be? What is that point? And are we there yet? Have we crossed the boundary? Are we close to the boundary? What makes Archeage Archeage? Maybe they can save it. Maybe they can't. But I sure as hell hope they can. That's it for now, I think. I think that pretty much sums up my experience with Unchained so far. Hopefully they make it better, but as it stands right now, I don't know. The game just feels dead. It's obviously not dead because of the massive queues and the sheer amount of people playing, but the game itself is just dead. There's nothing to do. I think that most of the stuff that I've said during this video is echoed perfectly by Bikeman. If you don't know Bikeman, he's an absolutely amazing streamer. He's been streaming for years. He's the one who originally exposed me to Archeage in the first place. He's the reason I even discovered it and fell in love with MMORPGs. And when Bikeman is ranting about the state of Archeage, you can tell the amount of anger and frustration in his voice. He's so frustrated that this game isn't what it should be. This game is great. It has the potential to be absolutely amazing, but it's just not living up to that expectation.
So what happened when they brought this over? What about this fucking 6.0 patch or whatever the fuck this is? What did we get? We got a whole bunch of shit meant for 200 Korean whales. We got a streamlined fucking quest system. We got a fucking gear that you have until you're high level. It's the same fucking gear. There's no more fucking crafting until way later. And even then it's not fucking worth it hardly. Fucking all the quests go straight through the zones and fucking ignore entire places the players never see anymore. Fucking fishing stripped down. Everything fucking stripped down. Jesus fucking Christ. Why am I playing this? Because I'm looking for the light at the end of the fucking tunnel. It never fucking comes. That a game like fucking Archeage that's so goddamn amazing could be so fundamentally misunderstood by the fucking creators of it. So here we are with a broken down, dilapidated fucking shadow of its former self video game. So please suggest to me that I do dailies, because we all love dailies. They're always proven to be so fucking fun. In every MMO ever, dailies, oh, they should just fucking do away with everything and just have a daily video game where you do dailies in it. Sounds fucking amazing. Yeah, I would love to go do dailies. I want to do everything already. I want to fucking do anything. Have you been playing? All you can do is fucking arc pass dailies and PvP. That's all there is. You're railroaded into fucking PvP, arc pass and dailies and gear grind. This game wasn't about that. Why not play regular Archeage? Because it's a fucking dumpster fire. And this one's got gasoline on it too.
So, if you sticked around this entire time, I guess thanks. Thanks for hearing my voice. And I'll see you guys later.